Welcome to your first Scratch program for the BrickPi3. To get started, you should have a BrickPi robot ready to go, good batteries, and an up-to-date Raspbian for robots. Let's start Scratch by double-clicking the Scratch cat. The Scratch for Robots window has detected the BrickPi, so we're good. Click the Start Programming button and confirm that you don't have any work that needs to be saved to disk. Scratch first starts a controller window in the background, and then the Scratch interface. We're ready to start our first short program. Let's go in the Control section and grab a broadcast block. The motors on my vehicle are connected to port A and D. So let's first start motor A at a speed of about 30%. I can type in motor A 30 or motor A 30%. Up to you. Choose the one you prefer. Also note that you don't need to use spaces. Now duplicate that block for motor D. Just to show you the flexibility, I'll change this one to read MD30, which is in line with what was done for BrickPi+. Both approaches are supported. Before doing a first test, let's make sure we can stop the robot. I'll need two broadcast blocks, one for each motor, and either set them to 0 or use the keyword stop. Again, I'm showing one of each just to show how they work. I'll link those two sequences together with a wait block, so my robot goes forward for a second and then stops. I'm now ready for a first test. Click the sequence to get it started and watch the robot in the lower right corner. Go! Yay! A second isn't very long, but it's enough to see that it works. You may have noticed the Scratch controller window was showing some text going by. You can usually ignore it, but it can be helpful in debugging your program when it gets more complex. Let's do another sequence that will read the ultrasonic sensor. It's an EV3 sensor on port S3, and I want to read its value in centimeter. I will need to use a broadcast block for that. Drag a broadcast block and set it to S3, the port value, followed by the keyword for the sensor, EV3USCM, and click it once to tell the BrickPi to get ready to read it. Then go to Look and get a Say block to get the cat to display the sensor value. To access the sensor value, go to Sensors and grab the sensor block at the bottom. Drop it in the Say block. Right now it says slider, which is not what we want. Use that little down arrow to display all options. All sensors come with two possible values, the actual sensor reading and a status. You can use the status to see if the reading went well. For now, we'll just use the actual result in S3 ultrasonic centimeters. We need to insert a block between the broadcast and the reading. It doesn't matter what. In some cases, your program will naturally have a block or more in between. But here, we need to add a wait block. The reason is that Scratch does not listen for the robot's answer. Scratch just says, "Tell me what you see," but doesn't pause, not even for a fraction of a second, to get the answer. BrickPi3 is fast, but Scratch is just being impolite. So drop a wait block of 0 seconds. Yep. 0 seconds is just long enough to force Scratch to wait a bit and get the answer. I'm going to use a book in front of the robot as an obstacle and click this new sequence to get a reading. 20 centimeters is about right. Let's make this a usable program by adding an event to start it. I'll use the spacebar and a forever loop to keep reading. Be aware that forever loops need to be slowed down a bit, with a wait block of about 1/10 of a second, so that Scratch doesn't keep asking and asking and asking continuously. Press the spacebar, and I can now go back to holding my book and moving it closer and further away. Let's go a step further and merge those two sequences. Let's have the robot move forward until an obstacle is detected 10 centimeters away. I'll have to change this wait block for a wait until. Then drop a less than operator in there and compare the sensor reading to our selected value of 10. As the two sequences will run in parallel, the readings will be up to date. The spacebar key press event will also trigger this sequence. I'll clean up my code section a bit so the blocks align. Now let's run this. Press the spacebar and use the book again. There you have it, how to control motors and sensors on the BrickPi3 through Scratch.